Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Zamruni Khalid. Today I would like to present about government responsibilities in state financial management according to Law number 17 of 2003. So my outline is the implementation of government responsibilities in the management of state finance according to Law number 17 of 2003. Talking about background, as stated in the explanation of the law of the Republic of Indonesia, number 17 of 2003, concerning state financial, that the general principle of state's financial management in order to support the realization of good governance in the implementation of the state financial management need to be held professionally, openly, and responsibly in accordance with the basic rules set out in the Constitution. The state budget or APBN. The state budget is the main tool of the government to prosper its people, and also a government tool to manage the country economy. State budget is a document that contains the estimate receipts and expenditures and detail as well as of activities in the field of state government originating from the government for a period of 1 year. And the state budget stipulate in the form of the law contains elements include: first is legal document that have binding legal force. Uh, Second is plan for states revenues from both the tax sector, non-tax DPR, and grants. And the third is the state spending plan is both routine and development. Fourth is state police on activity in the field of government that obtain priorities or do not obtain priorities. And the last is validity period of only 1 year unless apply for the next stage budget year. Government responsibility in state financial management. The obligation and responsibility of the Indonesian government are stipulated in Article 71 of Law number 39 of 1999. Starting, the government is obligate and responsible to respect, protect, and advance human rights. We can be seen several forms of accountability in the law. The first is criminal liability. Criminal liability is a concept related to the theory of legal obligation, is the concept of the responsibility. A person is legally held liable for a particular act is that he or she may be subject to a sanction in a country to it. According to traditional theory, there are two forms. Legal accountability is based on error theory, and absolute accountability. And second is civil liability. Civil liability is if a person is harmed because of the action of another person, while among them there is no agreement, then by law also rise or occurs the Constitution. resolving dispute over the authority of institution countries whose authority is given the constitution, the legal relationship between the person causing harm. And the third is accountability of government action. Accountability arises due to the existence of two things, namely the authority between right and obligation. Such authority is the act of the government that must be account for, and government accountability is in the form of legal accountability, ethnic discipline, and this general principle of good government mostly, of course, about moral and political. In Indonesia, the history of government finance manager has existed since the past. So every government from the time of the kingdom until now has a financial manager to be able to carry out economic development in his government. And government finance manager have here cover all government property or owned by a government. The finance manager to come from the community in the form of tributes, tax, customs, and others. And IPBN has the functions of authorization, planning, supervision, allocation, distribution, and stabilization. All receipts that becomes right and expense that become the obligation of the state within a fiscal year must be included in the state budget. So, sorry. The first about we're talking about the function in APBN. So first is the function of authority. The function of authority means that the state budget becomes the basis for implementing income and expenditure in the year concerned. Thus, spending or income can be accounted for to the people. And the second is the function of planning. The function of planning means that the state budget can be a guideline for the state to plan activities in that year. If spending is pre-planned, that the state can come up with plans to support the spending. For example, it has been planned and budget to build to build road and some some activities, or sorry, some house government. So this construction project with a value of billions. Therefore, the government can take action to prepare the project so that it can run smoothly. And the third is the supervisory function. Supervisory function means that the state budget can be a good the supervisor function means that the state budget should be a guideline to access whether the activities of the state government in accordance with the province that have been set. Thus, it will be easy for the people to assess uh, whether the government's action using state money for for certain purpose are justified or not. And fourth is allocation function. So allocation function means that uh, the state's budget should be direct to reduce unemployment in states and waste of the resource and improve the efficiency and effectiveness of the economy in states. Uh, Fifth is distribution function. Distribution function that the government budget becomes a tool to uh, sorry, that the state budget police must pay attention to the sense of fairness and property. So, and the last is stabilization function, that the government budget becomes a tool to maintain and strive for the fundamental balance of the economy in the state. Budgeting function of uh, review and expenditure. So conclusion for this presentation is the government responsibility in managing the state's finance is to submit financial accountability report that meet the principle on time and are prepared by following general accepted government accounting standards. The weakness of legislation in the field of state finance is one of the causes of some form or irregularities in the management of state finance. Suggestion for me for this for what I get, uh, the principal in the finance management of the state must be more active in the financial management of the state and must be controlled in the field of finance so that the problems in the state's finance do not increase. The legislation must be enforced against so that there are no irregularities in the management of the state finance. Uh, uh, just all. So thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.